Okay, so the recording has started. Hi, good evening, everyone. So once again, just to be sure that everyone can hear me, please can you just send a reaction so I can know that I'm speaking with people. All right, please keep sending reactions so I just know that people can listen to me, people can hear me. All right. Oh, perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Adeife. I'm a co-founder of Acetrove. And firstly, I want to say welcome to a new year. Welcome to 2026. Welcome to a brand new season. Welcome to a fresh start, a fresh season, fresh year. And I want to just say that may this year, favor all of us and may we be able to make the best out of the year. So going forward, um, going forward, I'm taking the weekly outlook, the first weekly outlook for the year, and also, we taking a deep dive into what's or how the market was last year, what the market was saying last year, what it's saying now, how do we navigate this market, some educational content for the guys that are new here, and that's pretty much it. So I hope that tonight is going to be a very fun and interesting one. And I hope that you get a lot of value from whatever will be taught tonight. And I hope that you also have like your books, your pen, because this year is going to be a very interesting one. And as I said earlier, it is going to be a year that comes with a lot of clarity and more intentional approach to not just trading, but everything that surrounds our life, basically. So let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to be sharing. I'm going to be sharing. Okay. So can you see my screen? I mean, it's looking like an infinity right now, but if you can see, just thumbs up. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So yes, I want to hope that I'm coming. Let me just share, share this stuff. All right. Can you see my trading view? Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So unlike previous years for those that have been attending before, I always have one currency or one instrument per chat, but I'm going to be having three now so that we can, I mean, it's better for my trading because it helps me see a lot of things on the screen at the same time as well. So if we're going to start with let's start with the dollar index and let's go to the monthly time frame. Let's see what or how the year traded basically on the monthly time frame. So we have January, December, November, October, January. Okay, so January started here. January started here. January. Okay, let me just use this. January on the dollar index started with this doji candle, this candle here, and then this was basically 2025 in a nutshell. This was basically 2025 in a nutshell. So every candle in here was basically 2025 in a nutshell. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. The kind of year that we had, right? It's not surprising that the kind of year that we had. And it's very, very evident, especially in my own trading as well for last year. It was very, very evident that what we are seeing right now on the chart on the multi-time frame of the dollar index was how my trading was basically summed up in the entirety of last year. Because January to about June, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, January to about June was very bountiful year. We're just seeing a lot of clean setups, a lot of sales. The market was going in one direction. And then from August or July, sorry, we just saw a range in the market. We just saw a range in the market from July. We're basically stuck in this range, right? We're basically stuck in this range from July to the end of the year. So the end of the year, like half of the year till the end of the year, it was very choppy period. There were very few, based on the way I trade, was very very few was very few opportunities in the market, right? It was very few opportunities in the market. The market was very still, taking losses all the time and all that because we were very impatient. We didn't know that the market, had already moved into this phase. It had left the expansion phase and was now in a consolidation phase, right? So that basically sums up 2025. No, the chart sees it all, right? The chart sees it all. 2024, 2023, 2024, we are stuck in this consolidation as well. 2023, 2024, we're stuck in this consolidation. And I remember it's very, very good. I remember very, very, very good. But somehow we're still able to, make money from the market. If you go to the euro monthly is just it's a replica of the dollar index as well. So you can basically see the exact same thing. We had very large expansions in the beginning of the year. Market was making market was making a lot of moves, having a lot of fun in the market until the market got stuck in this range, right? Until the market got stuck in this range, and you know everything slowed down. You have to really reflect on the way we trade, how we are going to be trading, and all that stuff, right? So going into last year, you know, going into last year, here was my drawn liquidity. Here was my drawn liquidity for the dollar. Let me use the dollar as an example. Here was where I was expecting that the dollar was going to go to last year. Let me just be sure. Please, if you are following, just thumbs up. So I know that okay, people are following. Okay, very good. Because I'm not, I'm on a different tab, so I have to be sure that everything is still going really smooth here. Okay, perfect. On the dollar index, here was my drawn liquidity from the monthly time frame, from the bigger picture. I was expecting that the dollar was going to skyrocket. We were going to see an expansion of the dollar up until this point. And when the years, And that was because of how I saw October, September, November, December trading. This was a very, very good period for me in 2024. These 3 months were exceptional months. And that was to show that I do very well in expansion periods, right? I do very well in expansion periods. Um, on when market is expanding, right? Just going in one direction, making very strong candle towards one direction. I do very well. So like going into the year, I was like very optimistic of the fact that you know we were going into this drawn liquidity. But I was also very cognizant of the fact that there is a fair value gap here. There's a fair value gap here that we need to see the price violate before we can expect further expansion. And then after January, we saw price trade back into that fair value gap. And then from January, we just saw sales and sales and sales. So I was no longer confident in the fact that we might be going up here, right? I was no longer confident in that fact. But you have to realize that at the end of the day, this is the monthly time frame. Every single candle here represents every single trading month, right? So we cannot trade up the monthly time frame. We cannot trade up the monthly time frame. We trade using lower time frame, right? So this is just it just helps as an indication for us to be able to get an idea of where we expect that price will be going towards. So we just saw market literally violate, spend the first half of 2020, first half of 2025 violating this entire move from September 2024, right? And engulfing, the entire move, the entire bullish move. You can see what the market did to it, just completely violated it all the way, right? And then, so that shifted my focus. So, to be very honest, going into this year, here's my drawn liquidity. I want to see price come for this equal lows here. I want to see price come for this equal lows. I'm not really looking at here anymore. I want to see price come for this equal lows. But that's not to say that price will definitely come. Because as I said, as a trader, you have to be very dynamic. You have to be able to, you are not in the business of predicting, right? You are in the business of reacting to what you are seeing on the chart and following suit and taking control from your own trading, right? So this is what I want to see. And now, when we see consolidation like this in the market, for those that are familiar with the term, or if you don't are not familiar with it, there's something called accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So ideally, what you want to see is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So what's accumulation technically? Accumulation is when the market goes into ranges like this, right? As the word says, accumulation. It's not moving in any direction. It's like accumulating. It's like accumulating, right? So you see market typically go in these accumulation phases before they move, right? So after accumulation, you want to see a manipulation, right? The market run into a wrong direction. You want to see the market run into a wrong direction. After this whole accumulation from 2022 all the way to 2024, for 2 years, we were in accumulation phase, and then we saw this manipulation, right? We saw this run up into a fake direction, and then we got the distribution or expansion pretty much after the fact, right? So this is what I want to see. Accumulation, we've gotten the accumulation for 2 years, we've gotten manipulation for a couple of months from 2025 and 2024 2025. So I ideally I want to see the distribution into these equal lows here. But then again, right, market on the way to it or in distribution also has some manipulation, accumulation, manipulation, distribution as well. So it has gone into another accumulation phase, which, to be very honest, we don't even know how long the accumulation can last for. But that's why I said, as a trader, you have to be dynamic. You have to know where the market is at that current time, in that current situation, or whatever is going on. You have to look at macroeconomics, you have to look at a lot of things, be able to see, okay, because this, what if this accumulation goes on for another, who knows, 3 years or 2 years, right? So basically, what I want to see here is we are seeing the accumulation currently. So I want to say manipulation. I want to say manipulation inside this fair value gap, and then another expansion, right? So similar to what we had here, let me use similar to what we had here. There's a fair value gap here. So we're basically accumulation, manipulation into the fair value gap, and then expansion. So I want to see the same thing here as well. Accumulation, manipulation into this fair value gap, and then another round of expansion. But we cannot say when this manipulation is going to happen, right? So that's what makes us dynamic as traders, and that's why we cannot trade up with 1 month time frame. We are not I don't know, we are not an institutional guy. We are retail traders. We are trying to be retail traders, right? So we are basically going to, just have this as an idea that, okay, this is what I expect from the dollar, because the dollar, anything the dollar does, euro does the same, pound does the same. If you look at pounds, what pound has done in the last couple of months, what pound has done in the last couple of months, you know, somewhat similar, right? Somewhat similar. So you can see how and why I focus on these three pairs mainly. But also, that's one of the things that I really want to go into this year. This year, I want to expand the pairs I always focus on. I want to see more pairs. I want to go into futures as well, currency futures, and all that. But then I have to stick with what I know and then learn that on the side before I, can understand what I'm doing and pivot there as well. So back to the dollar index, right? So this is ideally what I want to see for the month on the monthly time frame, not for the month, on the monthly time frame. That's giving me a larger picture of my expectations. That gives me a larger picture for my expectations, right? So if we go down to the weekly time frame, what do we see on the weekly time frame? Now, this is what we did on the weekly time frame. This is what we get on the weekly time frame. And if my expectations are going to play out, I would love to see that this high year gets swept. We go back to the monthly time frame. That's not what I'm saying. Can you see how it perfectly aligns with that fair value gap this high year? If we go to the weekly time frame, yeah. So ideally, I want to see this high swept, right? I want to see this high swept. So I want to see something like this, you know. But then again, that entire idea will be violated if the dollar takes this low, this equal lows are here, the dollar comes for this low first, I might not really want to see any more, I might not want to see any trading. I don't want to see it go, I don't want to see it go here, then start coming up. I don't want to see that. I want to see it go up first, then start coming down. Right? But if it goes down, I'm not interested in it coming up here anymore. So I just want to believe that from there we might just see lower prices to get here. So that's basically my plan. Basically my plan. That's all my plan. And then if you go to the daily time frame, what do we see on the daily time frame? What do we see on the daily time frame? You can see how price has been trading on the daily time frame for the dollar, right? You know, we basically you can see that clear accumulation, manipulation, and distribution playing out. You can see price accumulating here, manipulating to it, like as if he wants to buy, and then Q comes down again. Same thing we see again. We see another accumulative phase. We see a wrong move to the buy side, then we see sales again. So this I'm basically looking on the daily, which is what is a major is a more major is a more major or closer outlook rather than the monthly. The monthly and the weekly is just to have an idea of the bigger picture, right? So this is what my expectations are. Now, I I don't now what do we have here on the daily time frame? We have a fair value gap. We have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap here, right? I don't want to see us lose this high. I don't want to see us lose this high, right? If we are going for down price, right? If we are going for sales, right? I want to see a reaction. I want to see a reaction of. I want, I want to see a reaction of this fair value gap to the downside. I don't want to see strong push. As I said, remember as a trader, please can we put our hands down for now? For now, just put your hands down. Okay, sorry. Back to what I was saying. Let me give me a minute. Okay. Back to what I was saying. I want to say reaction up here because, as I said, as a trader, what we do is that you react, right? You're not in the business of, oh, okay, oh, it must compulsorily go here or it must compulsorily go down. Then that's how you are going to put in your trade. When you wake up tomorrow morning now, you're looking for buy to this place. I'm like, no, your job, as majority of the time, we spend majority of the time waiting, right? Just so we can react. So ideally, I just wanted to believe that because of it's a new year, a lot of market, a lot of volatility has not been in the market. That's why I think that we had all these buys in the last week, right? So now that trading resumed fully on Monday, I want to see a reaction of this place to the downside. Sorry. I want to see a reaction of this place to the downside, right? But because I see a reaction does not mean that I will now enter the market. I need a specific kind of reaction. Now you can see that we've been having bullish candle, right? I would love to see a bearish candle, a sell candle that will totally cover this big buy candle here. So I want to see a candle that might be as big as this. that will cover this whole, I won't say sell candle, that will cover this whole buy candle, and then close below, like close here. That is exactly what I won't say strong reaction. Then I cannot be like, oh, okay, I've gotten the reaction I need. Then I'll start looking for how I would participate in the market by selling. Right? As I said, that's your job as a trader. Your job as a trader is to react. Your job as a trader is not to predict. Yes, we try to predict where we think the market will go, right? But your job as a trader is not to, don't marry your bias. Yes, I think that's a very good way to put it. Do not marry your bias. So you can write that down. You have to be very dynamic. The market is dynamic. The market is reactionary, right? All all of that would basically be non-existent if a very, very big economic news comes out tomorrow. Right? Now, with this Venezuela America situation, I think everybody is familiar. I'm coming, give me a minute. Yeah, as I was saying, you are going to see how it's going to react to the market tomorrow. So also, if you are new here, yeah, I know many of the things that might be confusing. Oh, sorry. If you can if you can hear me, can you react? I mean, people can hear me, so I don't know. It might just be your network. Yeah. So as I was saying, thanks for reacting. So if you are new here, you will hear me through a lot of you hear me through a lot of concepts, a lot of words, a lot of things. Don't fret, right? Don't be scared because or it's normal to be confused. It's absolutely normal to be confused. If you are not confused, I mean, like, then you're not starting something new, right? So if you're starting something new, it's normal to be in this phase. It's normal to be confused. It's normal to not really understand what we are talking about. This app I'm using is called Trading View. Trading View. That's the name of the application I'm using currently to say everything that I'm saying. So to show you the chart, sorry, right? So you might hear me say a lot of things. So now, as a trader, it's very important that you have at least a little knowledge of macroeconomics. So you can you can um you can subscribe to the CNBC um WhatsApp channel, Yahoo Finance. I mean, there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. Bloomberg, and so on, and just get your. The idea is to get yourself abreast with news, right? So you read news, you understand how the news affects you, how it affects your the chart, how it affects stocks, how it affects commodities, oil, silver, gold, currencies, equities, a lot of things like that. Cryptocurrency, right? You have to be very, very um Can you guys hear me? I think you should be able to hear me much more better now. Okay. Yes. Okay. I was connected to my microphone was the microphone of my speaker, so I just switched to a better microphone now. So can you guys hear me now? Okay. Thank you. So um, as I was saying, you have to be abreast with a lot of economic news, right? So because when we do weekly outlooks like this, they're very raw, they're very unfiltered, right? And they're supposed to give you an idea of how you navigate the market. S- Um, I learned a lot from watching other traders break down the market, right? I really did not have a like close up mentorship that was telling me, okay, do it this way, do it that way. This is how the market will react to this, you know. No, but I got my mentorship basically from watching other people do these things week in and week out and seeing, oh, okay, when this happened, this is how they reacted to it, this is how they did their analysis for the week, this is how they prepared for the week ahead, and all that kind of stuff, right? But as time goes on, you get more clarity. You don't have to figure everything out in 1 month, 2 months, right? If it takes you the whole of the year to understand what you are doing here, to gain clarity, right? That's worth it. You don't have, you see, this, I can tell you for a fact, if you are starting trading this year, if you don't have like a one-on-one mentor, right, or somebody that is really going to hold your hand through this market, you might not make a dime this year. So that's why I don't really appreciate when people come up to me and then be like, "Oh, how much do I need to start?" I'm like, "Bro, chill. Like, how about you learn the basics? How about you get familiar? How about you take your time? How about you learn? How about you put in the work before you start thinking about how much you need, right? If you wanted to learn photography today, if your first question is not going to be how much will I be charging my client, when you get to that bridge, you will definitely be able to cross it because you will have a lot of clarity and understanding to be able to cross that bridge. What will be more important for you is, okay, what kind of camera do I need? What kind of photographer do I want to be? How do I get the basics? How do I snap, rule of third? How do I do color grading? Things like that, right? But when people come into trading, they try to give trading a very get rich quick approach to it, and that's why many people fail. That's why there's so much bad publicity about trading and what trading is, because many people can never understand it because they were never patient enough to learn. They were never patient enough to take their time to understand what they are doing, right? And as a beginner trader, for those like that have tried to maybe make some money on their own, right? One of the things that really helped me was the fact that I realized, like, I saw that, okay, I could actually, yes, I was losing a lot of money when I was coming up, but some days I was lucky and I was making something, right? I was lucky, and maybe one day you just see $10 on the screen. So I was like, if I could see $10 on this screen, definitely I can see 10,000. Definitely I can see 1,000. Like, I just need to figure out how to reduce my losses, right? And I don't want to really go into the whole round of um risk to reward and all that stuff. There's a lot of educational content for that on the Acetrove channel. You can check out our YouTube channel. A lot of the educational stuff we did last year, they are still on the channel. So go on the channel and get all the education that you need, right? And from there, just start your journey and take it slowly, right? So back to my outlook. Back to my outlook. So we can really see that this is what my expectation is going to be on the daily on the dollar index, right? If I come to the daily on the euro, I have similar expectations as well, right? I have similar expectations as well. But you can see that euro is most likely going for this low, or is closer to the low,
while the dollar is further to the high, right? That's a disparity, and that's absolutely normal. Sure, you get, it's absolutely normal. So, as I said, I'll really just be looking at this. I'll be looking at this on the dollar, and I'll be looking at this on the euro and on the pound. I'll be looking, I'll be looking at this as well because there's a favor look up here. So I'll be looking at it. But ideally, for these pairs, for the dollar, sell side liquidity is my target. So buy side liquidity is my target for the pound and for the euro as well. For the pound and for the euro as well. So, but then again, I'm just going to be waiting to see, to react, right? To react rather than marrying a bias. Now, moving on to economic calendar. This economic calendar is very important. For those that were here last year, you understand the importance of this economic calendar. For those that are new here, the economic calendar is a calendar for the economic activities for every day and every week of the year, right? This website is called Forex Factory, as you can see up here. This website is called Forex Factory, but I don't really like to use Forex Factory anymore because one of the firms that I trade with, they use my FX book, which is more comprehensive, and sometimes some news events are always missing on Forex Factory. So I just now use my FX book, which you guys can see. So I have an account in my FX book. I come here, economic calendar, and you know, from here I can see all the economic news I need to see. But then there's a few I can filter out what I don't want to see as well. So I don't want to see medium and low impact news, but I would love to see okay, no impact. I don't want to see no impact. I would love to see high impact news, and I would love to see basically I guess that's really what I want to see. I just want to see high impact news. But sometimes it's good to turn on medium impact because some medium impact news might, do a thing or two. But this is basically what's important for me. Right. Okay. I was start wondering that what's happening because I'm not signed in. So let me just do that immediately. Once I sign in, I already have all those stuff filtered out. I was very surprised to see that it was not. Just give it a minute, let it load. Sorry, I had like a network fluctuation. So if you can hear me, can you just react? I want to be sure that you guys can still hear me. Please react if you can hear me. Oh God. I'm having a bit of network issues, so I don't know. But if you can hear me now, just react so I can be sure that you guys are following. Okay, all right, perfect. Um, okay, very good. So yes, my account has been logged in on my FX book. My account has been logged in on my FX book. So I've filtered out high impact news that I want to see. I've filtered out the currencies that I trade: Australian dollar, Euro dollar, I mean Euro, pounds, and the United States dollar. Right? You can put Angola news, any China, but I don't really trade those pairs, so I don't concern myself with the things that are not important to me. Right, so we can see Monday in the Euro, especially in Spain, they're having unemployment change. America is having ISM manufacturing PMI. So these are news events that are important for economics of a country and how the currency is and things like that. And then we also have interest rates. So we can go to and see the interest rate of different banks. For those that are new here, I want to believe that you are, writing these things down and going to go and do your research on what are interest rates, how do interest rates affect the country, and things like that, right? So you can see the interest rate of every country. UK, the current interest rate is 3.7, previous rate was 4. It has a minus 25 basis points reduction, and so on and so forth. You can see as much as you want to see, right? So yeah, that's just that on that. So going to the economic calendar for this week, right? So this is what I'm expecting. Let me see. Hmm, nothing really crazy. Okay, Euro, we have interest rates year on year for December on January 7th, when January 7th. So that's a date to watch out for. We have jobless claims. So you can really go and do your research on what all these things are. And then non-farm payrolls, NFP, or for those that popularly hear what they call NFP. NFP is going to be on Friday. So now that we have NFP on Friday, which is going to be the first NFP of the year, NFP weeks typically normally I don't trade on Fridays, but NFP weeks I trade very carefully, and I don't trade a day before NFP, and I don't trade on Thursdays. My trading plan, I don't trade on Mondays as well. So Monday this week now, Monday, Thursday, Friday is out. So I basically only have Tuesday and Wednesday to look for opportunities in the market based on what Monday has done. So I don't really see anything clear on Monday. I don't trade on Tuesday. If Tuesday doesn't make it, if there's nothing clear on Tuesday, I wouldn't trade on Wednesday. But if something is clear on Monday, I might take a trade on Tuesday. And if there's something clear on Tuesday for Wednesday, I might take a trade on Wednesday. But if there's nothing clear on those 2 days, I will not be trading for next week. It's surprising. I think it might be surprising to you, some of the people that are new here. You do not have to trade every day. You do not have to trade every day. Day trading does not mean everyday trading, right? Day trading does not mean everyday trading. You trade when there are opportunities in the market. You trade when you know that you can win, right? That's when you trade. You don't chase the market. You react. As I said, you react. So that's typically what I have for the weekly outlook, what I intend, what I'm looking for, and then I'll keep you guys updated throughout the week because I took the weekly outlook today, so I'll be the one to keep you guys updated throughout the week on the channel. So if you're not on the channel, please ensure that you join the channel and follow us on our social media, Acetrove Capital on X. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the weekly the weekly outlook for this week and what I'm expecting that the market will do. As I said, if you need to write it down, write it down. We are in the business of reacting. We're not in the business of predicting, right? So I'm just going to be, taking my time and looking for the best opportunities. And from there, we would go towards how we can more deeper concept. Now, as I said, for those that are new here, even if you are not new, right, and anything I'm saying is confusing, it's not supposed to sound like something that you know. It's supposed to be confusing. You're supposed to have questions, right? So yeah, that's it. So anyone that has, if you have questions, please just put them in the chat box, and I will pick a few questions and I'll answer them, and then we'll go to the channel and also answer a few questions there, and then you know we'll start the trading week. But before, as you're writing your questions on the chat box, I just want to say a few things, right? Especially going into the new year. So I know this period, everybody's going to be very, very enthusiastic, right? New year, new me, resolution. I want to do this, I want to do that, I will achieve my goal, I'll do that, and all that stuff. Right? All well and good. I love it. I love it for you, right? I love that you're trying to do something or make something out of yourself. You're trying to have better agency and control of your life. Very, very good. But you see, the thing is that you have to understand that this race, or what where life basically is not, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So there's typically there's typically um there's an inclination to always that initial push and initial drive to do, like, you want to do this, you want to do that, like, slow down a bit, make sure you have enough clarity, right? And there's a lot of people that will start with this pace and cannot end the pace, right? They cannot end it. They just have the pace. By March, by February, many people will not even, it's the same thing, right? Last year, I wasn't really for those that know me very well, I wasn't really consistent with my gym and all that stuff. I could give a million excuses, but the most important part was that I was not disciplined enough, right, compared to the year before. And it's okay, right? It's okay, it's fine. The most important thing is that you are aware of that. And even in the gym, typically Monday, January's, you see a lot of people who register for the gym. By June, July, you will not be seeing a lot of these faces anymore in the gym again. By December, you start seeing new faces again because people are trying to plan for the new year. So don't start with a pace that you know that you will not be able to keep up with, right? Only this year, only you wants to learn forex, only you wants to learn, only you wants to do a lot of things, right? All well and good, but you must keep a certain pace. It's a marathon. When you're running a marathon, you have people that are like called pacers in the marathon to try to keep you at a certain pace, right? So that when you finish, you're also ending very, very great. Unlike a sprint. In a sprint, you start with with a lot of speed, you hit your max speed at some point, and then from there you just slow down. Right? You don't want to slow down. You want to take things very, very, take it at a pace that you know that you can keep up with. Take with the pace that you know that, okay, for the next 4 5 years, I can keep up this pace. I'm building for a decade. I'm building for the next 2 decades. I'm building for what my future is going to look like. Right? You are not doing this for an audience. You are doing this for yourself. Right? Self-improvement is a never-ending journey. You are continuing to be, you continue to, look for more avenues to make yourself better, to do better things, to do greater things, right? So don't start with a pace that you cannot keep up with. Right now, I know that this call has, let me see. Okay, this call has 21 people currently, right? Next week we're going to have another call. Let's see how many people will be on that call next week. Upper week we're going to have another call. Let's see how many people are going to be there. At the end of January, let's see how many people will be there. March, let's see how many people will be there. Like that, like that, like that. The ones that are serious will stay. The ones that are not serious, they'll follow along the way. And it's okay. It's okay to follow along the way. I mean, trading might not be what you want to do. You might find another interest, something that you can give better time and attention to and do excellently well there. That's also very, very good, right? So you must understand that whatever if you're trying to build something for yourself, you have to go at a pace that only you can keep up with. Just take your time, and build. To be very honest, Acetrove, as I see, sometimes when I think about building Acetrove, I think about the things that I needed, like, or that would have been important for me when I was coming up, or when I was, I'm still not where I want to be, but when I was really much a novice, there are things that I really, really needed. That's what we are trying to give out here at Astro. That mentorship, that clarity, that completeness and understanding for what you want to see, for what you want to do, right? Those are the things that we are concerned about here at Astro. So please try as much as possible to keep up with our social media, keep up with the channel, just stay abreast, educate yourself, put in the work, learn, relearn, unlearn, and everything would later make more sense as time goes. So yeah, let me go to questions. During your outlook, if you can hear me, please just thumbs up, or just react. Okay, very good. So during your outlooks, do you also consider the types of candlesticks? Yes, I do. Right. If you look at okay, very good. Look at Euro USD, for instance. You can see the last candle on the Euro USD is a very strong sell candle. If you look at the last candle on the dollar, it's a very strong buy candle. But look at the last candle on the pounds, right? It's a rejection candle. So all those things, but the thing is that candlestick patterns are not there for fun, right? They tell a story. So you don't really need to know what the name of the candle is, Doji, Akuna Matata, every whatever the name of the candle is. That's really none of your business. The name of the candle is not your business, right? What is your business is understanding the story that candle is selling, or that candle is telling. Sorry, right? If you look at the euro and the dollar, the fact that they have a a strong closure tells you something, right? Compared to the pound. The pound does not have a strong bullish closure or a strong bearish closure. It just has a small body and very long wicks to show you that at some point that candle was buying and then it rejected and closed the way it closed. Do you understand? So that's that. Yes, I do consider candlestick, but not just because of the candlestick has a particular name. I consider the candlestick because of the candlestick is telling a story. Candlestick is what we trade. We react based on what we see from the candlesticks. So there's no how I will not consider the candlesticks when I'm doing my weekly outlooks. So with the absence of any other questions, I really wish I really wish every one of us the very best year. I wish that this year we would do super well. There'll be more clarity this year. There'll be more understanding this year. There'll be more focus this year, and everybody, would get a lot of value from this year and a progress towards who they want to be this year, 2026. I'm really grateful for every one of you that stuck with us and has been here throughout this call and throughout this weekly outlook. It's going to be a very great year. I can really feel it. And I'm really proud of every single one of us here for taking a step for betterment of our lives and the lives of everyone around us. So have a wonderful week ahead. And I hope that you get a lot of value from this. And if you did, let me just cannot react as our usual tradition. All right. Thank you very much. I obviously recorded this and it will be dropped tomorrow on our YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. Rewatch it at the same time. Be looking at your charts as well. Stay focused on your charts and see how the market is reacting. And all these areas that I outlined, look at how price is reacting there and everything in between. Yeah. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night.